Good evening. Tonight, we are deconstructing a phenomenon that is as painful as it is pervasive, the act of dropping your phone on your face while lying in bed. While this is often dismissed as simple clumsiness, a deep dive into the research titled Supine Smartphone Face Impact Syndrome reveals that this is actually a complex systemic failure involving rigid body dynamics, surface tribology, and neurobiology. It is not merely an accident, it is a calculated conflict between modern mobile design and millions of years of human physiological evolution. To understand why this happens, we must first look at the physical environment. When you adopt the supine computing posture, lying on your back, gravity transforms from a stabilizing force into a purely destructive one. You are essentially suspending a 200-gram block of glass and metal 20 to 30 centimeters above your soft tissues, creating what physicists call a potential energy bomb. In this position, the phone exists in a state of metastability, meaning the slightest disturbance can push it out of the equilibrium zone. The design of modern smartphones actively works against you in this battle. Consider the center of mass. As camera technology has advanced, flagship devices now house dense, heavy lens modules at the very top of the phone. However, your grip is typically at the bottom, near the keyboard. This disconnect between the center of mass and your fulcrum point creates a significant lever arm, generating a gravitational torque that constantly tries to rotate the phone toward your face. You are not just holding weight, you are actively fighting rotational torque every second. The situation is worsened by the microscopic war occurring between your skin and the device. We call this the tribological dimension. Manufacturers apply oleophobic coatings to screens to resist fingerprints, using fluoropolymers that create a surface energy similar to Teflon. While this feels luxurious, it is disastrous for grip. These coatings drop the friction coefficient between glass and skin to below 0.3, meaning you must exert 3 times the clamping force to get the same hold you would have on standard glass. Furthermore, friction here is non-linear. If your hands are too dry, such as in an air-conditioned room, the skin hardens and friction vanishes. Conversely, if you have been holding the phone for too long and your palm sweats, the moisture forms a continuous liquid film. This creates hydrodynamic lubrication, effectively turning your sweat into ball bearings that slide the phone right out of your hand. Now, let us look at the biological hardware, your hand. Humans evolved to grip cylindrical objects like branches, not wide, flat plates. To compensate, most users adopt the smartphone pinky maneuver, using the little finger as a shelf to support the device's weight. This places extreme stress on the intrinsic muscles of the hand and can compress the proper palmar digital nerve, reducing tactile sensitivity. Because you are holding the phone still to read or watch video, your muscles are engaged in isometric contraction. This blocks blood flow, causes metabolic toxins like hydrogen ions to accumulate, and eventually leads to physiological tremors, micro shakes that vibrate at 8 to 12 hertz. These tiny vibrations are often enough to break the static friction threshold and initiate the slip. The final nail in the coffin comes from your nervous system. Many facial impacts occur during the transition between wakefulness and sleep. As you drift off, your brainstem may trigger a hypnic jerk, a primal reflex where the body twitches to prevent a perceived fall. This involuntary spasm can physically launch the device at you. Even without the jerk, you may experience microsleeps, where muscle tone instantly vanishes, causing the lift force to drop to zero. Once the phone is airborne, the physics of the fall are unforgiving. From a height of 25 centimeters, the impact takes approximately 0.226 seconds. This is right at the limit of human reaction time. Because your brain is visually locked onto the screen content, it suppresses the processing of tactile data, meaning you often don't even realize the phone is slipping until it's too late. Furthermore, due to the rotational torque we mentioned earlier, the phone rarely falls flat. It rotates, ensuring that you are struck not by the flat back, but by the hard steel edge or the corner of the screen. This reduces the contact area to roughly 1 square millimeter, increasing the pressure of the impact by a factor of 10,000 compared to a flat hit. In conclusion, the data suggests that as long as phones get heavier and screens get smoother, this system will remain broken. The only scientifically sound way to prevent smartphone face impact syndrome is mechanical intervention, using a ring holder or a pop socket that locks the device to your hand via bone structure rather than friction. Until then, we are fighting a losing battle against gravity, and gravity always wins.